What's up, everyone? You're here with Goran for Pickdawgz, and thank you for joining me here for your free picks for Saturday. That's March 2nd. We have a busy day ahead, guys. I believe I have 19 free picks for you in this video, and there's a parlay day at the end of it, plus 400 and something, a nice five-legger to start us off this weekend. Friday, I wish I could have said it was a good one, but it wasn't a good one. Milan got a win 1-0 against Lazio. We had the over 2.5 in that one. Monaco and PSG had quite an uneventful affair in the French Ligue 1. Celta Vigo at the moment is up 1-0. They kind of showed up. Almeria did not. And Bayern Munich had a 2-1 lead with 7 minutes to go, and they conceded a late one for a 2-2 draw. Unfortunately for us, like I said, it wasn't a good day with the free picks. Premium picks, however, made a nice profit, and we will do the same on Saturday. So check them out, guys. Simply click the link in the description of this video. That will get you up to my page where you can sign up, get a daily pass, 3-day pass, 7-day pass, or even a month-long pass if that's something you want to do. For more free picks, of course, go up to the Pick Dawgz YouTube channel and check it out, guys. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit that like button, and of course, feel free to leave a comment on any of these videos, and I'll be more than happy to answer any of the questions you might have and engage with you in a conversation or whatever. So check it out, guys, and of course, stay tuned. Like I said, we have a busy day on Saturday, guys, and as we usually do, we are gonna kick it off with the EPL. Brentford versus Chelsea, first game of the day. Well, not the first game of the day. It's a 10 a.m. game, as a few other ones as well. But here we have two teams that are capable of scoring goals, definitely. And both teams had a FA Cup matchup earlier this week. Chelsea was able to beat Leeds 3-2. And advance to the next stage. While Brentford lost to West Ham 4-2, but Brentford was resting a bunch of players in that game just so that they could be more ready for this one. I'm not sure that kind of makes sense because losing a game is as important as resting players because it does affect your form. And I think that Brentford is in a horrible form right now. They have lost their last three straight games. The good news, I guess, is that they have been scoring goals consistently and they have been conceding even more. Basically, same thing as Chelsea has been doing over the last few weeks as well. And with that in mind, guys, both teams to score and over 2.5 goals at minus 133. That's going to be my pick for this one. Everton is hosting West Ham, and I think this is going to be a fairly hard matchup for both teams. West Ham is coming off of a win against Brentford 4-2 in the EPL game. Uh, while Everton is now on a two-game draw streak, they have lost only one of their last five games. And they are actually in a better mood because they did get some points that were deducted from them. They did get, I think, 4 or 5 of those points back, which is definitely going to be huge for their fight to stay in the league. But I think in this one they will be mostly focused on defending, and West Ham will try to get to the scoreboard as early as possible. But I honestly think that if anything's going to happen in this game, it's going to happen in the second half. So I'm going to take first half draw at plus 115. Fulham and Brighton should be a fairly open matchup between two teams capable of playing great offensive football. And at the moment, Fulham is in a bit of a better form with two wins out of their last three games, lost only one of their last five. While Brighton is coming off of a defeat in the FA Cup against Wolverhampton 1-0. But these two teams are capable of so much offense that I think we're gonna see a ton of chances and a ton of shots on target in this one. Brighton is missing a bunch of players because of the injuries and suspensions as well, but whoever's gonna end up playing is definitely good enough to compete with Fulham on the road here. And with that in mind, guys, I'm gonna take over 9.5 shots on target combined at minus 143. Newcastle will be hosting Wolverhampton, and you know what? Wolverhampton is on a huge three-game winning streak right now. They've kept two clean sheets in a row. I don't see them doing it a third time because Newcastle is good offensive team right now. They are scoring a ton of goals. They are struggling a lot defensively. That is a big problem for them right now. And because of that, I do see Wolverhampton getting on the scoreboard, but I don't see them keeping a clean sheet. So I'm gonna go with both teams to score an over 2.5 in this one as well. It's minus 125. It's definitely worth a shot. As I said, Wolverhampton in outstanding form right now, creating a lot of chances, scoring a ton of goals. While Newcastle is definitely doing the same in the attacking end, but defensively they are a mess, and that's why I don't see them keeping a clean sheet. Nottingham Forest is hosting Liverpool in this next matchup, and Liverpool is coming off of a win in the FA Cup 3-0 against Southampton. Before that, they beaten Chelsea for that EFL Cup trophy. Nottingham Forest on the other side could not score a goal against Manchester United in the FA Cup. They had some great chances, they had some great looks, but I think that they will score here. Now, the problem for them is that Liverpool is on a 5-game winning streak, and they might be getting Salah, Nunez, and Soboslai back for this one, but they still have a ton of players who will be absent from this game because of the injuries, such as Jota, Alexander Arnold, Alisson is out as well. Curtis Jones will be out as well. Gravenberg is listed as injured as well. There's a ton of players that Liverpool is missing, but they are on a huge roll right now. They have that groove. They have those youngsters playing in the starting lineup, and they're playing incredibly well. And with that in mind, I'm gonna take a bit of a risk here, and I'm gonna take Liverpool to win and both teams to score at plus 162. Liverpool is at the top of the table right now. A win here will keep them there, and that's something they definitely want to do. And because of that, I'm gonna take Liverpool to win and both teams to score. Tottenham and Crystal Palace. I'm kind of looking at a similar way here as Liverpool. Crystal Palace is coming off of a win against Burnley 3-0 under the new head coach, Oliver Glasner. While Tottenham did lose last week, actually a couple of weeks ago, against Wolverhampton 2-1 in the EPL, but they've had plenty of rest. They had time for the some of those injured players to recover for this game, and I think that they will be at full power in this one. I think that Crystal Palace cannot win this game. Uh, Even though they're coming off of a win, I don't think they can win it. But I do think they can get to the scoreboard because let's be honest, Tottenham's defense hasn't been the most consistent one this season. And with that in mind, like I said, something similar to Liverpool pick, I'm gonna take Tottenham to win and both teams to score in this one as well, and is at plus 167. The last pick of the day of the EPL day is between Luton Town and Aston Villa. And to keep this one simple, guys, I'm simply gonna stick to goals. Aston Villa has been scoring a lot of goals over the last couple of weeks. They have scored 6 goals in their last 2 games. They have conceded a bunch of goals as well. Luton Town on the other side also has been scoring goals consistently, at least a goal in each of their last 7, 8, 9 games in a row. But the problem is that their defense simply cannot contain their opponents. Whoever they played against, they've conceded a ton of goals, 10 goals in their last 2 games. And with that in mind, guys, like I said, keeping it simple, over 3.5 goals at plus 115. Let's move on to Spanish La Liga, guys, where we have Sevilla hosting Real Sociedad. And I think this was going to be a very hard fought battle for both teams. Sevilla is coming off of a win. They did no, actually they lost against Real Madrid, but before that they tied to Valencia and then they have beaten Atletico Madrid. While Real Sociedad has lost 4 of their last 5 games, and I'm more inclined to side with Sevilla right now. Real Sociedad had a game against Mallorca in Copa del Rey, and they got knocked out of it in the semifinals. Before that, they lost to Villarreal. They lost to PSG. And you know what? They are in a bit of a trouble right now, and they will try to do everything they can to salvage their season. But I think that Sevilla is a slightly better team here. Like I said, it's gonna be a hard-fought battle for both teams, and I think if anything's gonna happen, it's gonna happen in the second half. And with that in mind, first half draw at minus 114. Valencia is hosting Real Madrid, and this should be a fairly interesting matchup. I think that Valencia is good enough to get to the scoreboard against Real Madrid, and they have been doing that in pretty much each of their home games against Real Madrid, going back to all the way to 2013. And because of the fact that Real Madrid is playing in the Champions League next week against Leipzig, that could make Valencia's job a little bit easier here. I see that Bellingham has been listed as questionable. However, I don't think that Carlo Ancelotti will risk another injury here before that important Champions League matchup next week. And even though Valencia can get on the scoreboard, and I think they will get on the scoreboard, I don't think they will do it by keeping a clean sheet here. So both teams to score at minus 108. That's going to be my pick for this one. In German Bundesliga, we have some interesting matchups, and we are going to kick it off with this game between Heidenheim and Eintracht Frankfurt. I think this should be a very interesting matchup where both teams will get on the scoreboard because defensively, they are both struggling a lot, and neither team can keep a clean sheet right now, especially Eintracht, who's conceded a bunch of goals over the last few weeks. And those defensive issues will not just go away. And on top of that, they are playing on the road against a solid Heidenheim team who is now in the top half of the table and has been scoring goals quite consistently. So, both teams to score at minus 154. This is going to be my pick for this game. Union Berlin is hosting Borussia Dortmund, and I'm going to lay off Borussia Dortmund for a bit until they get back on the winning track. While Union Berlin is now undefeated in their last four games, and they're slowly gaining some distance from the relegation zone, which is the key for them this season. They want to stay in Bundesliga, and I think they will stay in Bundesliga because they are a very good team, in my opinion. They just had a very, very bad start to the season, and they just couldn't shake it off. But I think that they certainly can be a threat to Borussia Dortmund here. I think that they are more than capable of scoring goals, and I believe they can do it here as well. And since we're getting such a great price on the over 2.5, I will take it. I got it at minus 133, and I wouldn't be surprised to see goals on both sides in this one. Mainz and Borussia Mönchengladbach is another matchup in German Bundesliga. And in this one as well, guys, I do expect goals. Over 2.5 at minus 128. I'm going to keep it simple. Uh, Borussia Mönchengladbach is coming off of a win. They've scored 5 goals. They conceded 2. Mainz lost 2-1 to Leverkusen on the road. They are playing solid defensively at home, but I think that with the current momentum that Borussia Mönchengladbach has, I think that they will force Mainz to try and attack and outscore them here in this game. And on top of that, Mainz has a few suspended players and a few injured players, so the depth will be an issue for them in this game. So Mainz versus Gladbach over 2.5 goals at minus 128. Darmstadt and Augsburg are facing off in Bundesliga as well. That's 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. Darmstadt by far the worst team in the league. They will be getting relegated. They are, I believe, 16 points away from the safe zone, and so far this season they have 13 points, and there's no way they will get much more for the rest of the season. So I would lean towards Augsburg to be honest, but Darmstadt has been scoring goals at home so far this season. They have been doing it quite consistently. And with that in mind, I'm going to take both teams to score at minus 167. But if I'm being honest, I think this is going to be one game that I will skip and simply not risk my money because there are better games to bet on this Saturday. Bochum is hosting Leipzig. And you know what, guys? I'm going to keep this one very, very simple, guys. And I'm not even gonna try to push it any further than the money line. I'm gonna take Leipzig on the money line. They have lost their last game against Bayern Munich 2-1, but they're playing against Real Madrid in the Champions League next week in a game where they need a win. Um, I'm sure that there will be some rotations going on in this game for Leipzig, but they need to get a win out of this game to improve their morale, to get back on the winning track, and to play Real Madrid in a good form and in a good mood. So this is going to be an important game for Leipzig. I think they will step it up. I think they will get a win. And we are getting them at minus 154, and I am happy with that price at the moment. So I'm taking Leipzig on the money line. Wolfsburg and Stuttgart is the last game of the day in Bundesliga, and I think it's going to be an interesting one. Wolfsburg hasn't beaten anyone in their last 7 games. However, they have lost only one of their last six games. They cannot keep a clean sheet. They haven't done it in a long time. But the good news is that their offense has been able to pick up the slack and give them positive results. Now, this draw streak will eventually come to an end. Is it going to happen against Stuttgart here? I don't know. But as I've said, Wolfsburg has been picking up slack in that attacking end. They have been scoring goals. They can't keep a clean sheet, and neither can Stuttgart right now. They have conceded at least a goal in each of their last seven, eight, 9 games in a row, and I think they will do it here as well. So over 2.5 goals at -139. That's going to be my pick, but I'm going to put like half a unit, maybe a bit less on both teams to score, and over 2.5 goals as well. And that is coming at a nice plus money. In the Italian Serie A, guys, we have Monza hosting Roma, and I don't think we can rely on Roma keeping a clean sheet against Monza, who is actually undefeated in their last 5 games while winning 3 of those 5 games. And on top of that, Monza at home so far this season has scored 16 goals in 13 games, while Roma has conceded 17 goals in 12 games on the road. So, like I said, we cannot count on Roma to keep a clean sheet despite their good form right now. So both teams to score at -128. That's gonna be my pick for this one. Torino and Fiorentina is another matchup in the Italian Serie A, guys, and I've seen over 2.5 at -1 at +142 in this game, and I decided to pull the trigger on it. Defensively, both teams are a bit of a mess right now. Fiorentina has been conceding a lot of goals, so has Torino. But the good news is that both teams have been scoring goals as well. So I'm gonna give it a shot at over 2.5 at +142. Maybe even both teams to score at over 2.5 or even bigger plus money. But this should be a very fun game to watch and enjoy. And for the last two picks before we move on to the parlay of the day, we have two games in the French League One. Reims against Lille is the first one, and you know what? I'm gonna go for a maximum value that I can get out of this. Both teams are a bit sloppy right now, especially Lille, who has won only one of their last 4 games, lost the other three. While Reims is coming off of a win against Le Havre 2-1, and this is actually their second positive result in a row. But Reim at home has been absolutely solid this season with solid defense with 13 conceded goals and 13 scored goals, 5 wins, 2 draws, and 4 losses. While Lille on the road has 12 scored goals and 16 conceded goals. So uh, I do see both teams scoring in this one, but I have a feeling that Reim will come out on top in this one. So, like I said, I'm going to go for the full value, and that is Reim to win and both teams to score at +400. And the last pick of the day in the French League One is between Clermont and Marseille. And after Marseille finally got a win against Montpellier in the French League One 4-1, this is actually their second win in a row after beating Shakhtar in the Europa League. They're facing Clermont, who hasn't beaten anyone in their last 6 games and has only 1 win, 4 draws, and 6 losses when playing at home. On top of all that, of the 6 games that these two teams have played going back to 2016, Marseille has won 5 of them, while Clermont got 1 win, and that was the win on the road. And with all that in mind, guys, I think that Marseille will keep their positive streak alive and keep their winning streak alive, that is. So I'm going to take Marseille on the money line at -115. They are the better team here, currently in a better form, and I think that they are heating up to go on a nice and positive streak that could potentially salvage their season. So taking Marseille on the money line. And now we're up to the parlay of the day, guys. A five-legger, like I said. Tottenham versus Crystal Palace over 2.5 goals. Luton Town versus Aston Villa over 2.5 goals. Wolfsburg versus Stuttgart, both teams to score. Leipzig on the double chance against Bochum. And Marseille on the double chance against Clermont on the road as well. Five-legger plus 441, guys. I do like it a lot. I'm going to go with a full unit on it. And I'm hoping it's going to be a nice winner for us to get us some money in our bank on Saturday. So that's it, everyone. Thank you for joining me here. These were free picks for Saturday. Hope you have a great day, guys. Stay tuned for more free picks and good luck with all of your bets.